Hey, Frederick Douglass Elementary School, it's Mrs. Shoepard. And I totally forgot that I had this hat in my basement, but it's perfect because today is the second day of Sea Creature Week. So yesterday I showed you how to do a painting of an octopus, which is similar to my squid friend right here. And today I'm going to show you how to make a shark. So let's go ahead and get started.
First thing you want to do for this project is get a golf ball. Now I have two golf balls here because I am going to be doing two different sharks. One of my sharks is going to be a gray shark and one of my sharks is going to be a blue shark. So whatever, if you can find a golf ball or any kind of smaller ball to do this project, is fine. And so that my balls aren't rolling away while I'm trying to draw on them and paint on them, I actually have them setting on these little lids. This is a lid from a water bottle, and then this is the lid from my Mountain Dew bottle. So if you have something like that you can set your golf ball on top of, then that way they're not rolling away while you're working. So what we want to do is get a pencil and we want to draw the mouth of the shark. We're going to draw that on here with a pencil, and then that way we can paint the rest of the way around the ball. So I have some writing on my golf ball, and you probably have some writing somewhere on your ball also. So try to find the side that is just plain white. Okay, once you find that side, you're going to draw the shape of what the mouth is going to be, and that is not going to show up too well. I'm trying to be zoomed in here for you so you can see, but when I write on the pencil with the golf ball, it's going to write very lightly, so hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. I'm going to have kind of like a, I don't know if you'll be able to see it at all. Okay, so I traced my pencil lines with a thin Sharpie so that you could see the shape better. So this is generally the shape that you want for the mouth. So you're gonna have a curved line here at the top, and you're gonna have two bumps, one on each side, and then connect that down at the bottom. So this is the only line that you need to draw onto your golf ball, and then you're ready to paint. So like I said, I'm gonna have one of my sharks be a gray shark, and so I'm going to start with the gray shark first, and then the second golf ball is going to be a blue shark. So now that I painted my gray golf ball and my blue golf ball, now I just have an extra regular golf ball that I don't have paint on yet, just so that I can use that as a size, like a guide, so I know how big to make the pieces that we're going to attach to the golf ball. So my blue golf ball and my gray golf ball are set to the side so that they can dry, and I'm going to draw the tail and the side fins, and then the dorsal fin, which is the fin that sticks up off the top of the shark. And then I'm actually gonna make some little tiny eyebrows. So what I'm gonna do first is just kind of have this golf ball here so that I know how big I want the size of these things. So for the tail fin, I'm going to start at the edge of the golf ball, and I'm going to draw with a pen onto this piece of gray, like foam stuff. So the foam right now is gray on one side and white on the other side, but the white part is just this sticky stuff. So I can pull this away and it will wind up being gray underneath. And then I'll be able to use that to stick some of the pieces onto the golf ball, but I think I'm gonna have to use some hot glue for the other pieces. So again, for the tail, I'm gonna have this section right here that will wind up being attached to the golf ball, and then it's going to come up and then come back down. And then I'm gonna do basically the same thing on this side. So this is gonna be the size of the tail. So now I'm gonna move my golf ball to another section of the foam so that when we're cutting, we have enough room to cut out each piece. So for right here, let's go ahead and draw the fins that will stick out from the side of the from the shark. So we'll have this fin. These are gonna kind of look like triangles basically. So you're gonna need one on that side and you're gonna need one on this side. And then we're gonna need a dorsal fin, which the dorsal fin is the fin that sticks up from the top of the shark, and they usually are just they're usually just a triangle. But if we want to trace the golf ball a little bit so that we have the shape of the golf ball, so that when we're cutting out the dorsal fin, when we go to glue that on here, we'll have the shape of the golf ball on this side, and then we'll have the dorsal fin up like that, and then we'll know that this piece of foam will be able to sit on top of the golf ball when we cut it out. Okay, so we got two side fins, a tail fin, a dorsal fin, and then I wanted to make just like teeny tiny little eyebrows. I have some Googly Eyes that I'm gonna glue onto the side of my golf ball. So I'll use the Googly Eye so that I know how big I want my eyebrow, and the eyebrows are actually just going to be rectangles, so that when we glue that on to the golf ball, you'll glue on the Googly Eyes, and then we'll stick on these little eyebrow pieces so we can make it look like a scary shark, like if we angle them down. So right now the eyes don't look scary, but if we cut these out and we angle them down, we can kind of make them look like a little scary shark. So those are the pieces that we need to attach to the golf ball. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut those out of the foam. Okay, the next thing I want to do for my sharks is draw some teeth, and I'm gonna actually go inside of the area that I have that's white here, and I am going to draw the same shape but a little bit smaller. So I'm using one of those really fine tip Sharpie markers to draw onto the golf ball. All right, and once I have that drawn, then I can draw some teeth. I'm gonna do really big triangles for the two front teeth. So I'm gonna put those two in the middle, and then I'm just gonna do a few more triangles over here and a few more triangles over here. So now I have the teeth here, and I'm looking at where I drew this line before, and a little bit of paint has covered up part of that line. So what I'm gonna do now is take the marker and trace over that line that I had drawn before, just so it looks a little bit neater. So part of it I'm just tracing over the line that's already there, and part of it I'm kind of going over some of the paint, like just drawing right over top of the paint so that we have a solid black line. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the mouth and the teeth on my blue golf ball. Now that I have the Sharpie part finished on the shark, that's gonna actually be the last thing that I need to use the Sharpie for. So now we're ready to glue these pieces on that we cut out of the foam. So some of the pieces are gonna need to be gray on both sides. And like I told you earlier, this side is gray, but this side is white because it has that paper on the back that you can peel off to have the sticky side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to glue on the dorsal fin onto the top of the golf ball, and I need to make sure that I pull the paper off so that it is gray on both sides. Now I'm not actually going to use the sticky side to stick it down onto the golf ball because I want the dorsal fin to be sticking up like this. So if I would stick it down on the sticky side, which is right here, then that's not really gonna look like the dorsal fin. So what I'm gonna use is some hot glue. And so if you're going to be using hot glue at your house, just make sure that you have an adult with you. They can help you so that you don't get burned from the hot glue. So now that I have the dorsal fin glued onto the top, you're just gonna have to be careful when you're touching your shark that you're not touching the sticky side over here because your finger might get stuck to it and then it might wind up ripping that dorsal fin right off the top. But the hot glue seems to be holding pretty well. So the next thing I want to glue onto my shark is the googly eyes. And I want the googly eyes to be kind of right here above where we drew the mouth. So I'm just gonna glue one at a time, and I'm just gonna have to be really careful that I don't burn myself. I just put like one little dot of glue on the back of the googly eye, and then I will stick it on my golf ball right there, and then do the same for the other. And then when you're using hot glue, just pull off these extra strings if you get little extra strings attached. Okay, so we have two eyes and a dorsal fin. The next thing I'm going to glue are the side fins. And for these, I have gray on one side and then I have the white on the other side. And I actually don't necessarily need it to be gray on both sides because when my little shark is sitting on top of the water bottle lid, I'm actually not going to see the bottom of the fins. If you want to peel off the white from the back, you can, but I'm actually not going to because I really don't need to. So I'm just going to take the hot glue and I'm going to put a little bit right here at the end of the triangle, and then the fins on the side are going to go right about here. And you just have to hold that for a few seconds while the hot glue dries. It really doesn't take that long for it to hold. But I don't want the fins to start going down. I want to make sure that they stay sticking out. So just make sure that it's mostly dry, if not all dry, before you go ahead and glue on the other side. So we got the dorsal fin and the side fins. Now we have to do the tail fin. And I'm hoping that it will stay attached because we only have this little tiny portion right here where it's going to be held on with the glue. So we'll see. Now this is another one where I'm going to peel off the white from the back so that it's gray on both sides. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue right here on that piece, just right there on the end, and then glue it onto the back and just hold it there for a few seconds, and hopefully that will be enough glue to keep it attached. I'm gonna have to be careful when I let go because it's sticky on the other side of the tail where I just peeled off the white piece, so it's gonna wanna keep sticking to my fingers. Okay, the last thing that I'm gonna do for my gray shark is I want to peel off the back of the little eyebrows, and I think I might just be able to stick that right on here. So if we put them facing down, then it can kind of makes them look a little bit more angry. I'm gonna peel off the back of the other eyebrow. And we don't have to glue these. If they keep popping off, I might need to glue them, but since I have the little sticker part on the back, I can just stick it straight to the googly eye. And part of it can stick on the googly eye and part of it can kind of stick down onto the golf ball. And there we go. Now we have our little angry shark. All right, so now you can see our gray shark is finished. We've got if you look at it from like the front part of it, you can see the mouth and the eyes, the eyebrows, the dorsal fin, and the side fins. And then if we turn it, and if you're looking down on it, from the top of it, then you can see his little tail fin. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the same steps for my blue shark so that I have two sharks. I'm gonna have a gray shark and a blue shark. All right, well, I'm all done with my two sharks. They kind of look angry. Maybe they could battle each other. But I hope you were able to make maybe at least one of these, depending on what color paint you have, or maybe depending on if you have any of this foam stuff at your house, or maybe you could even use construction paper for the part where I used foam. And you don't have to make two, you could make as many as you wanted. But I hope you were able to make one. If you were able to make one of these awesome shark projects, go ahead and take a picture of it and post it on your Schoology account so I can see it. All right, have a great day and I'll see you next time.